Bellator 267 full card prediction, Douglas Lima and Michael Venom Page in the main event of the welterweight division. Only 3 rounds. Liam McCourt and Jessica Borga in the featherweight division. Robert Whiteford and Andrew Fisher in the featherweight division. Loose Trainer and Yannick Bahati in the light heavyweight division. Tim Wilde, Yves Londo in the lightweight division. Michael Dubois and Louis Long in the welterweight division. Davey Gallen and Connie Musa in the lightweight division. Alina Kalinidou and Petra Kaskova in the women's flyweight division. Charlie Leary and Benjamin Brander in the lightweight division. Jack Rant and Nathan Jones in the welterweight division. Nathan Rose and Fabraka Diata in the featherweight division. Shiakar Panko and Katharina Delista in the women's strawweight division. And last but not least, Khurshid Kakarov and Jair Jr. in the bantamweight division. Cannot wait for all of these fights right here. We're going to do our full card prediction right now with 13 fights on the entire fight card. Let's get into the first fight in the bantamweight division right here. Khurshid Kakarov and Jair Jr. in the bantamweight division. All I really have to say here is absolute domination from Khurshid Kakarov. I mean, Jair Jr., he has some pretty decent grappling and wrestling. He's decent at range, going to have the height advantage, and is going to have the reach advantage, but really he needs a fight to hit the ground. He's got very solid submission skills. All of his wins are either by submission or by a unanimous decision, so he needs a fight to hit the ground. But Khurshid Kakarov, he's just so powerful. On the feet, he's going to absolutely destroy him. He's got amazing knees in the clinch, 2 knockout wins up by knees in the clinch. He likes to pressure you back to the cage and just start ripping shots to the body. Right hook, left hook, knees in the clinch. I mean, the pressure of Khurshid Kakarov is absolutely amazing, and he's able to put on that pressure because he does have very good wrestling as well, which is why I'm not too worried about Jair Jr. I don't think Jair Jr. is going to go out there and mix in really any wrestling or grappling here, because Khurshid Kakarov has amazing takedown defense, and Khurshid Kakarov, he's going to defend those takedowns, keep the fight on the feet, pressure the heck out of Jair Jr. coming forward, and I believe he's going to knock him out. I mean, Khurshid Kakarov, out of all of his wins, 7 wins and 0 losses, 6 by knockout, and only one of those fights by a decision against Guy Da Silva. That is the only guy right there, but this fight right here, I do think will be a finish. I think Khurshid goes out there, pressures the heck out of Jair Jr. and knocks him out in the first or second round. Really good fight in the bantamweight division. Chiara Panko and Katharina Delista in the women's strawweight division. Katharina Delista with 5 wins and 2 losses, the prime of her MMA career. Really solid judo skills, really good double leg takedown, and a really good trip takedown to the clinch as well. Her only finish in her professional MMA career is an arm triangle choke submission, but the way she's going to win the fight, pressure the heck out of Chiara Panko, come forward and literally just start throwing everything you got in the striking, get the fight to the clinch, land a few little elbows, land a few knees in the body, and then end up getting that judo throw, getting the fight down, ground and pounding, and looking for yet another arm triangle choke submission. That is the main way I do think that Katharina Delista is going to win the fight. Chiara Panko with 5 wins and 3 losses has a lot of submission wins. A lot of her wins are on the ground, like ground and pound TKO submissions mainly. That is the main way she is winning, with all of her wins coming by finish. Chiara Panko, I do think will win the fight to stay on the feet. Her grappling is decent. Her grappling is very solid. She can definitely go out there and get a submission on Katharina Delista, but Katharina's judo is just too good. I mean, her submission defense is also very solid, and that's why I don't think Chiara Panko is going to able to latch onto that submission. Katharina is just going to stay on top, ground a pounder on the ground, and I do think she's going to win the fight by a decision. On the feet, she's going to put on constant pressure, looking to get the fight to the clinch, land some knees, land some elbows, land the takedown, and ground a pound for the decision right there. But it is a very close fight on the betting odds. I believe recently it was at like -130 to +110. It was a really 50-50 fight on the betting odds just a little while ago. If I can find it right here, let's see if I can find it. Where is it? Chiara Panko. Now it's really a 50-50 fight right now. -115 and then -115 right there. But personally, I am going to go Katharina Delista. -115 isn't really too solid. I mean, it's pretty solid in my opinion because I do think she's going to win. And if you got a 50-50 fight, you gotta, and the betting odds are 50-50, and you are leaning one way or the other, you gotta bet that one. So, Katarina Delisa, I do think will go out there, destroy her on the ground with the judo, with the ground pound, and in the striking, just out pressure her. So, I'm very surprised it is a 50-50 fight. I would think Katarina should be probably around -155, -160, somewhere around there. But some really, really interesting news in the women's strawweight division. My prediction: Katarina Delisa by unanimous decision. Really good fight in the women's strawweight division right there. Fabakari Diata and Nathan Rose in the featherweight division. I never get that first name right for whatever reason. I really do not know why. But 7 wins and 0 losses for Fabakari Diata, and then Nathan Rose at 7 wins and 3 losses, who's going to be a little bit taller and a little bit lengthier by 2 inches in height and reach. Nathan Rose needs to go out there and look for that knockout. He's going to be trying to keep at range, and as Fabakari Diata is coming forward, he needs to counter with a right hand down the middle because he's got a lot of power. That right hand down the middle is the main way I see Nathan Rose winning. He needs to keep the fight at range, not let Fabakari come into range, because he likes to go very explosive strikes, really fast, really like fast strikes, like the jab, 1-2, really in and out strikes. That is the main way Fabakari Diata lands his strikes. It's really in and out, really fast, really explosive, just trying to get in and out with landing the shots without getting any damage as you're coming in. So if Nathan Rose can find a way to time a right hand as Fabakari Diata is coming in, that is how I see Nathan Rose winning, just timing that right hand as he's coming in to land his strikes, because he is going to have the height and the reach. So Fabakari is going to have to come in, which could leave him open to a counter punch of Nathan Rose. But overall, I'm still going to go Fabakari Diata. I think he has the speed advantage, he has the explosiveness advantage, he has the power advantage in my opinion. He's going to keep the fight at range. He's got really good movement, really good head movement, really good speed. Is just going to keep on jabbing a 1-2, and I think it's going to be a very close fight either way. Whoever wins the fight is going to be very close, but I think Fabakari Diata is going to out-volume him because of that speed. Every single time Fabakari Diata lands 2 shots, I think Nathan Rose will land 1, and that will reflect on the judges' scorecards, giving Fabakari Diata the decision win right here. When you got 2 guys with some decent power, with some decent speed, they're not really going to go for the finish all too much. They're just trying to go in and out, land the counter shot, and that's why I don't see a finish right here. So my prediction is going to be Fabakari Diata winning that fight by unanimous decision right there. Really good fight in the featherweight division. Jack Grant and Nathan Jones in the welterweight division. Yeah, Nathan Jones needs to get the takedown, needs to pull guard, to do something to get this fight in the grappling department. He's got a lot of arm bars, a lot of rear nakeds, a lot of triangles. That's just what he does. His only knockout win is a ground pound TKO, and pretty much all of his wins are submission wins. He needs the fight to hit the ground. But Jack Grant also is a very good grappler, coming off a mounted guillotine, a flying arm bar right there, an anaconda choke submission win, another submission, rear naked, arm bar again, rear naked. He's also a very good grappler. So I don't know how good Nathan Jones is going to do on the ground, because of Jack Grant is also a very good grappler. But when you get guys that are I wouldn't say very even, I still give the edge to Jack Grant. I'm just saying if Nathan Jones wants to win, it's going to be in the grappling and wrestling. But I'm still saying when you get 2 guys that are sort of even-ish in the wrestling and grappling game, you usually see more of a striking fight, like Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman, and that is what we're going to see right here. Jack Grant is just a way better striker. He's amazing body kicks, leg kicks, head kicks at range. He's going to be the taller, lengthier guy. He can jab 1-2 at range, and every now and then, if he can back up Nathan Jones to the back of the cage, he can land some really big shots and then go down for a takedown and stuff. So I don't think this fight's going to be even at all. I think the odds should be like -500 or something for Jack Grant. I wouldn't be surprised if those are the odds. Oh my god, you're serious. -500 for Jack Grant, to be honest. Wow, I really did not know that. But those are the actual odds right there. Jack Grant and -500. I'm very surprised I just guessed the odds on Jack Grant. But yeah, I'm really not surprised it's -500, because Jack has the better grappling, has the better wrestling. He's just a much more powerful striker, the taller striker, the lengthier striker, the faster striker, the more powerful striker. And I do think he's going to go out there and finish him by knockout or TKO in the first or second round. A really good fight in the welterweight division, Charlie Leary and Benjamin Brander in the lightweight division. Charlie Leary needs this fight to stay on the feet. He's got a really good guillotine choke submission as you're coming in for the takedown. Out of his 17 wins, 11 losses and 1 draw. Most of those wins are knockout wins, but out of his submission wins, which are only 3, most of them are triangle chokes, arm bars, or are either guillotine choke submissions. So I believe the grappling game of Charlie Leary could definitely limit the amount of times that Benjamin Brander is able to land the takedown, because that is ultimately what he's going to look to do, is come forward, throw some big shots, and go down for the double leg takedown, pick him up, and probably suplex him like he did in the last fight. I mean, against Greg, I'm remembering the wrong fight. I'm forgetting which fight it was. It's probably the Chris Bungard fight or the Luca Vitali fight. There was one fight, he literally suplexed a guy, picked him over, and landed him right on the back of his head. He's got very, very solid wrestling and grappling skills, but I'm still saying, because Benjamin does like to go for double legs very, very often, and Charlie Leary does have a really good guillotine, I think that guillotine could be enough to kind of keep the fight on the feet for the most part. And if the fight is on the feet, we saw what happened against Kiefer Crosby. The boxing of Charlie Leary looks absolutely amazing in that fight. He looked really, really solid, throwing a lot of volume, really good power shots, and then ended up knocking out Kiefer Crosby at the end of that very first shot. I think this fight is going to be a striking fight because of the submission defense of Charlie Leary. The takedown defense of Charlie Leary will keep the fight on the feet, where Charlie Leary is the more powerful guy, the faster guy, throws more volume, just likes to come forward and just throw a combination. So I do think the fight does stay on the feet. Benjamin Brander, he has been knocked out before, if I'm remembering correctly. He might have actually not been knocked. He's only been knocked out twice. I'm going to go with decision. I'm going to go Charlie Leary by a decision. He does have a lot of knockout wins recently. The knockout over Kiefer Crosby, Tom Green, Daniel Scorsese right there. But I do think this fight does go all the way. I'm going to go a 29-28 decision. I'll give 1 round to Benjamin Brander, as he does probably get a couple of takedowns here and there and win one of the rounds. But it's a very close fight in the lightweight division right there. But my prediction is Charlie Leary by unanimous decision. Really good fight in the lightweight division right there. Alina Kalinidou and Petra Kaskova in the women's flyweight division. Alina Kalinidou, pressure, and go for the takedown. That is what you need to do. I mean, in her fight with Q-On, she literally went out there in the 3rd round. She did that in pretty much every single round, but she went out there like a rock'em sock'em robot and just started throwing. And I saw the fight with Petra Kaskova, and then her last fight with Vladiva Yavorskaya. I'm really not too sure if I'm saying that name correctly, but she almost got knocked out because Vadalina went out there and started pressuring the heck out of Petra. Her back was to the cage. She ate a couple of shots and almost got knocked out. And I do think that is the way for her to win the fight. If Alina is going to go out there and win, pressure, get Petra's back to the cage and just start throwing, because she is going to have the power advantage. She's going to have the speed advantage. Petra is going to have the kicking advantage at range and might have maybe the submission advantage. She does have a couple of submission wins on her record. But for this fight right here, it's really going to come down to, can Petra keep range and kickbox with Alina, or can Alina close range and land her boxing combinations? Because if Petra can keep range and keep it at kickboxing, where she can leg kick, body kick, head kick, front kick, jab, and 1-2 on the outside, I'm gonna go Petra Kaskova winning the fight by a decision. But because Alina is really good at coming forward and pressuring, and the fact that Petra does not do good under pressure, she's also 39 and a half years old, I'm gonna go Alina Kalinidou winning that fight by a decision. A really good fight in the women's flyweight division right there. Musa and Davy Gallen in the Bellator lightweight division. Musa, he needs to go out there and keep the fight in the striking realm. He's got a lot of knockouts. I mean, 4 knockout wins is not that bad. 2 submissions and then 7 decision wins. Only 1 knockout to Mark Diakese. So he definitely does not have a bad chin by any means. I mean, Mark Diakese is a very powerful guy. That is the only knockout loss he has on his record, but his only other 2 losses to Robert Whiteford by a split decision, and then Rafael Macedo by a split decision. So all of his losses are either very close or against UFC fighters like Mark Diakese. Davy Gallen right there with 18 wins and 7 losses, and then I believe 2 draws. Very interesting. He has 2 draws right there, but coming off a rolling thunder kick where he did like a front flip and landed a kick like this and hit Ross Pearson on the top of his head and knocked him out. I have no idea how the heck he did it, but he knocked him out. I believe at the end of that third round. You got to look at that knockout. Look at Ross Pearson versus David Allen. It was an absolutely insane knockout, but on the feet, I do think Kalinidou Musa is going to have the advantage. He's not going to be, he's going to be the more powerful striker in my opinion. He's going to be the faster striker. If he can go out there, put the pressure on where Davy's not really able to land those kicks like that super rolling thunder kick, whatever the heck that's called. Crazy kick. I really have no idea how he landed that on Ross Pearson right there. I encourage you all to look up David Allen versus Ross Pearson. It was absolutely insane, but keep David Allen out of that range where he can land the kicks and do not get taken down. Those are the keys to victory on Kalinidou Musa. Pressure, close the distance, not allow David Allen to kick, and defend the takedowns. Kalinidou Musa has some very, very solid takedown defense, and for those reasons, I am going to go Kalinidou Musa to win the fight by a 29-28 decision. I believe he pressures David Allen, defends the takedowns, and just keeps on pressuring for the decision win right here. He has more speed, more power, more volume, more pressure, so all of the striking does go Kalinidou Musa instead of the kicks. That's why I am worried, because if he lays off the pressure a little bit too much, David Allen can keep range and do another rolling thunder weird kick that he got in this last fight. But it is a very good fight in the Bellator lightweight division. But my prediction is going to be Kalinidou Musa by decision right there. Really good fight in the lightweight division. Lewis Long and Michael Du Bois in the welterweight division. A short notice fight for Bellator 267, Lima versus MVP. We originally were going to have Uros Jodisic and Lewis Long, and I personally was going to go Uros Jodisic winning that fight. I was probably going to go a 29-28 decision. They both have very, very good grappling, and the striking was very even. So I was probably going to go Uros Jodisic to win that one. But now that we have Michael Du Bois, it's a much, much easier fight for Lewis Long. I mean, the grappling of Michael Du Bois is nowhere near the grappling of Lewis Long. Nowhere near. Yeah, he's got 8 submission wins on his record so far. A lot of heel hooks, a lot of rear nakeds, all of that type of stuff. But if you look at who he's getting those wins over, 0-1, 1-1, 0-1, 0-1, 1-3, 1-3, 11-5 is not bad right there. 1-1 right there. I mean, all of the submission wins he's getting are against very, very bad competition. So I really don't take all those submissions too much into account right there. But Lewis Long, his grappling is going to be much, much better. He's going to keep the fight on the feet at range, feel it out a little bit. The striking is going to be very, very even. In my opinion, I'm really not too sure who to give the edge to. But because of this such a big edge in the grappling and wrestling game for Lewis Long, it's just there's no way I'm not going to pick him to win, especially as Michael Du Bois is taking the fight on short notice. I mean, he's coming off a knee bar submission win on Gianni Melillo, a rear naked on Walter Gahaza, a rear naked on Sean Lomas, the rear naked on Ryan Scope, rear naked on Kes Mamba, rear naked on Yoshiki Kariura, if I'm saying that name correctly. But you know what he's going to try to do. He's going to get the fight down. He's going to get the double leg takedown, and he is going to submit Michael Du Bois in the first or second round. Easiest prediction of the card, in my opinion. I would not be surprised if 100% of these tabloid predictions are going Lewis Long. 91% isn't too bad, but yeah, that is my prediction for Lewis Long versus Michael Du Bois. I got Lewis Long by submission, specifically a rear naked choke submission in the first or second round. Really good fight in the welterweight division right there. Yves Londo and Tim Wilde in the Bellator lightweight division. I'm getting mixed up with UFC and Bellator, but Yves Londo and Tim Wilde is going to be a banger of a fight. They both go out there looking for the knockout. Yves Londo with 16 wins and 8 losses. He got 4 knockout wins, 5 submissions, and then 7 decision wins right there. Hasn't been doing too good in 2011 to 2016, but recently he's been doing very, very solid with a lot of Kimura submission wins and a flying knee knockout win on Terry Brazier inside of Bellator in his last fight. He's a very, very good movement around the cage. Like I said, leg kick you, body kick you, head kick you, flying knees, like knees in the body, elbows in the clinch. I mean, that is the game. He's not really a boxing type of guy. He's just trying to hit you with kicks at range, and just out volume you with the kicks. Come forward, throw that flying knee many, many times, and look for that knockout. But Tim Wilde right here, he's a very, very solid striker as well. 34 wins. He beat Anthony Dizzy, who's a very, very solid wrestler and grappler. Knocked him out in the second round with his hands. He looked really, really good in that fight. But this fight right here with Yves Londo and Tim Wilde is really going to come down to if Yves Londo is able to keep the fight at kickboxing range, or if Tim Wilde can come forward, use that height, use that reach, jab 1-2, jab 1-2, get Londo's back to the cage where he's not able to really land those kicks, and just start going off on Londo. That is the way you're going to beat a guy like Londo, because when his back is against the cage, he's not able to land the kicks, which are the main factor in his striking. And if you eliminate those kicks, Tim Wilde is going to win the fight. He's a very, very solid striker. Knocked out Anthony Dizzy in the second round. Got a very good win over Charlie Leary about 2 years ago, but I think he's a lot more powerful. He throws more volume, and I think he can definitely go out there and just pressure the heck out of Londo, not let him have that kickboxing range, and I do think he is going to land another knockout right here. A lot of people are not saying knockout. They are saying a decision right here, but I'm feeling a knockout. I do think that Tim Wilde is going to put on that pressure and land a right hand in the clinch on Londo as he's backed up and knock him out in the first or second round. A really good fight in the Bellator lightweight division right there. Lou Trainer and Yannick Bahati in the light heavyweight division, 25 and a half years old. Super tall and super duper lengthy, 4-inch height advantage and a 4.5-inch reach advantage, which is absolutely insane. I mean, it's just, he's super tall, super lengthy, and for the light heavyweight division, that is just absolutely crazy. Yannick Bahati is only losing to absolute beasts like Melvin Manhoef, Damian Janikowski in KSW, Mike Shipman, and then Driscoll Duplessis, as well as Dalcha Lungiambula, 2 guys that are fighting in the UFC, a couple of guys in the KSW, and then Melvin Manhoef. So all the guys he's losing to are very, very good. But the main ways both guys wins is get the fight to the ground, look for the submission, or look for the ground pound TKO. Yannick Bahati, I believe, is going to be a little bit stronger than Luke Trainer, might be able to land a takedown, but the submission threat from Luke Trainer on bottom is going to be very, very real. He's got a really good guillotine, has really good submission skills, rear nakeds, arm bars, triangles, all of that type of stuff. So it's going to be very, very dangerous for Yannick Bahati to go for a takedown on Luke Trainer. It's going to be hard to take down Yannick Bahati because he is so strong, but I honestly don't think he will need to. The wrestling and the grappling is going to be so even. I kind of see this fight being very similar to Kamaru Usman versus Colby Covington, where you got 2 really good grapplers and wrestlers with pretty much all of their wins coming by submission or ground up on TKO. I think this is going to be a striking fight, and Yannick Bahati, being a lot smaller and a lot less lengthy than Luke Trainer, having similar power to Luke Trainer, similar speed to Luke Trainer, it's just going to be Luke Trainer staying in range, kickboxing, jabbing a 1-2, and then if Yannick Bahati comes in to land his shots or go for a takedown, I do think that Luke Trainer is going to drop a right hand right down the pipe and knock out Yannick Bahati. I don't see how Yannick can close the distance without getting caught with a big right hand, and he can land that right hand, or because of that reach advantage, Yannick is going to have to really overextend on his strikes, which can actually lead to Luke Trainer going down for a double leg takedown and landing it. So it's going to make it a lot better for Luke Trainer to land the takedown and a lot better on the feet. So I either think that Luke Trainer is going to win the fight with a right hand counter as Yannick Bahati is coming in, or he ends up, as he's coming in, lands a takedown and ground upon TKOs him, just like Melvin Manhoef did in their last fight inside the Bellator. But really good fight, really, really solid fight in the I believe light heavyweight division right there. Robert Whiteford and Andrew Fisher in the featherweight division. Robert Whiteford is 38 and a half years old. I'm not too sure how old Andrew Fisher is, but he's also going to be very, very old. His first fight was not even a year after I was born in 2007 right there. So a very, very long time ago, but they're both probably like 35, 36 years old. I mean, the man fought Artem Lobov back in 2014. Absolutely insane. But the main ways of both guys win right here, pressure and volume. The grappling and the wrestling is going to be very, very even. I'll give a slight advantage to Robert Whiteford. He does have a very good clinch, trip takedown in the cage, really solid ground. They both have very good wrestling and grappling, but I'll give a slight edge to Robert Whiteford. The power is very even, the speed is very even, the height and the reach is also going to be very, very even. So it's going to be a very, very even fight in my opinion. I don't see too much of an edge to go for either guy right here. If Andrew Fisher is going to win, it's going to be him him pressuring Robert Whiteford, throwing a lot of volume, throwing a lot of pressure for the decision win. If Robert Whiteford's going to win, it's going to be him throwing a lot of pressure, throwing a lot of volume for a decision win, while also mixing in a few takedowns right there. And that's the main reason I'm leaning Robert Whiteford, is because I know both guys can put on the pressure, land pretty similar amount of volume and similar amount of strikes to each other. But the one thing that's going to give Robert Whiteford the edge right here is going to be the judo background that he does have. He can land that takedown, get a little bit of ground pound, and win the fight that way. So I think it's going to be a very, very close fight in the striking, but with a wrestling edge and grappling edge for Robert Whiteford, I do think that is what's going to get him a very, very close decision win right there. So my prediction in the featherweight division is going to be a Robert Whiteford 29-28 decision. Really good fight in the featherweight division. Leah McCourt and Jessica Borga in the featherweight division. Leah McCourt with 5 wins and 1 loss. Jessica Borga with 3 wins and 3 losses. 31 and then 29 years old. A little bit of a height advantage right there, but not by much. I mean, there's just no way I really see Jessica Borga winning right here. Leah McCourt is the better striker. She's the better grappler. She's the better wrestler. She's better in the clinch. I mean, she beat Manny Fiora. I mean, come on. She beat Manny Fiora. That is the only girl to beat Manny Fiora in her professional MMA career, and she beat her by a split decision. It was a very, very close fight, but she went out there and beat Manon Fiora on the ground. It's gonna be very, very even. Leah McCourt has a really good clinch, body lock trip takedown. Jessica Borga has some decent wrestling of her own, but I still give a slight advantage to Leah McCourt in the wrestling and grappling game. In the striking, Leah McCourt gets a humongous advantage in my opinion. She's got a really, really solid jab, really good leg case, front case of the body. There's all around way more volume, way more pressure, way more power. Everything in this fight is leaning towards Leah McCourt to win. She's way better in every single facet of the game. I just don't see a way for Jessica Borga to win right here. So in the striking, in the wrestling, and in the grappling, I do see Leah McCourt winning in the COA main event for Bellator 267. So that is my prediction. Leah McCourt by a 30-27 decision. Outstriking her, mixing in the takedowns, ground pounding, possibly getting a submission, possibly getting a ground pound TKO. But I see the fight going all the way. Leah McCourt by a 30-27 decision. Really good fight in the women's featherweight division. Douglas Lima and Michael Venom Page 2. We finally have the rematch in this welterweight division. This time it is not going to be for the belt, as Yaroslav Amosov is the champion of the welterweight division, but the height and the reach, we got to look at that. I mean, a 2-inch height advantage for Michael Venom Page, and I believe, let's see right there, 4.5-inch reach advantage for Michael Venom Page. The only loss for Michael Venom Page is, of course, a Douglas Lima from that leg kick that dropped him down, and as he was falling down, Douglas Lima caught him with an uppercut and ended up knocking him out. But you see his last couple of wins: counter right, broken nose, unanimous decision, flying knee, just a bunch of crazy knockout wins. Headkick knockout win, the ground upon knockout win, toe hold submission win, flying knee. The man's a very, very elusive striker. His grappling's also going to be very, very solid. He's got really good heel hooks, toe holds, rear nakeds. His grappling is going to be very, very underrated, but I don't see this fight being a grappling or wrestling fight. This one is staying on the feet. Douglas Lima, Michael Venom Page. It's going to be a striking fight. Douglas is going to go out there, try to attack the legs of Michael Venom Page, and just leg kick the heck out of Michael for 3 straight rounds, trying to win the fight by decision, put it on the pressure, coming forward with those leg kicks, and with really, really big combinations, to try to get the knockout on Michael Venom Page. Hope he does some crazy, oh yeah, and gets himself knocked out. That's the main way I see Douglas Lima winning, putting on the pressure, leg kicking the crap out of Michael Venom Page, pressuring him a lot, and then catching him when he's doing something goofy, and then knocking him out in the first or second round. That is the main way I do see Douglas Lima winning that fight right there. But Michael Venom Page, if he's not messing around, if he's not goofing around, I do think he's gonna win the fight. I mean, he's got a really, really solid, he has like the Wonderboy Thompson kind of karate movement around the cage, where he's just going like this, and as they're coming in, because every single opponent that Michael Venom Page does have is a lot smaller and has way, way less of a reach, so they always have to come forward, and they always end up going like this, and Michael just goes boom right down the middle and goes on the outside. That right cross right down the middle, it's amazing. Every single time Douglas Lima is going to be coming in to land whatever strike he's trying to land, Michael's going to be just staying back, landing the right hand down the middle, left hook, and getting on the outside. I mean, He's just an absolute beast. He's got amazing leg kicks as well. I mean, Douglas Lima obviously is going to have better leg kicks, but Michael flying knees. He's got head kicks in his arsenal as well. He's got that right cross as Douglas Lima is coming in. And I do think Michael Venom Page can get the fight at range. As Douglas coming in, land that right cross. If Douglas Lima is not pressuring enough, I see Michael Venom Page just coming forward with some wild flying knees, head kicks, just crazy stuff as he usually does. But it's been a trend in the UFC or in Bellator right now that a lot of these older fighters, the older champions inside of Bellator, like Patricio Pitbull just lost to a very good up and coming AJ McKee. I see the same thing happening here. Michael, I think, is just a much better striker if he can stay away from eating too many of the leg kicks from Douglas Lima. Stays at range and doesn't goof off too much. I see him just jabbing 1-2 and leg kicking, body kicking, head kicking, flying in, doing all sorts of crazy stuff for a decision winner right here. I don't think he's gonna finish Douglas Lima. I mean, Gegard wasn't able to finish him. Rory McDonald wasn't able. Yaroslav wasn't able. Andre Koreshkov wasn't able. No one was really able to finish him, I believe, in any of his fights. He has 2 losses by knockout, but way long time ago in like 2012, and then way back in 2009. So I don't see a finish here. I think Michael Venom Page keeps the fight at range, stays on the outside, stays away from the pressure of Douglas Lima. The leg kicks of Douglas Lima and wins the fight by a 29-28 decision. Really good fight in the welterweight division right there. Yeah, guys, that is my main card prediction for Bellator 267, Lima versus MVP 2. 13 fights on the entire fight card right there. I got Michael Venom Page winning his fight by a decision, Aaliyah McCourt winning her fight by a decision, Robert Whiteford winning his fight by a decision, Luke Trainer by knockout, and Tim Wilde by knockout. Really good main card for Bellator 267. Put your predictions in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and everything like that. And we'll see you in the next video. Let's go. But yeah, guys, that is my full card prediction for Bellator 267 Lima versus the MVP 2. I got Michael Venom Page winning his fight in the welterweight division, probably by a decision. Leah McCourt winning her fight. Robert Whiteford winning his fight. Luke Trainer winning his fight. Yves Londo winning his fight. Louis Long winning his fight. Kane Musa winning his fight. Alina Kalinidou winning her fight. Charlie Leary winning his fight. Jack Grant winning his fight. Pabakari Diana winning his fight. Katharina Delisa winning her fight, and the Kurset Kakarov winning his fight. I believe I might have all favorites, but one of them is a 50-50 fight, and a couple of guys, the odds are they should not be anywhere near where they are. Is going to be the fight with Alina Kalinidou right there, minus 277, or 275 right there. That is way too much. That fight is a lot closer. I mean, Petra Kaskova has a decent wrestling and grappling game, and she has way better kicks than Alina Kalinidou. So, whatever you do not put any money on Alina. That is a much closer fight than the odds do suggest. The Benjamin Brandon, Charlie Leary, I kind of agree with that one. Kane Musa, pretty interesting right there. Yves Londo and Tim Wilde, I agree with that one. This is a much closer fight. I mean, minus 450 for Luke Trainer is crazy. I mean, if you look at the last couple of fights for Yane Bahati, and if you look at who he's losing to, Driscoll Duplessis, Damian Janikowski, Melvin Madhoff, I mean, no. The odds should be a lot closer than that. Do not parlay Luke Trainer. Just do not do it, because Yane Bahati is going to be a lot bigger, a lot stronger than Luke Trainer. Also has some really good Kimura submission wins, really good ground pound, really good wrestling. So that is a much closer fight than the betting odds do suggest as well. No way he should be a minus whatever 450 favorite. There's just no chance. Leah McCourt, I kind of agree with that. I mean, she's probably the biggest favorite in my opinion on the card, but again, I wouldn't do anything with it, because it is women's MMA. You never know with that, to be quite honest with you. But Michael Venom Page versus Douglas Lima should be a 50-50, minus 110 and minus 110. But the 3 fights I don't agree with the odds are going to be the Luke Trainer Yane Bahati fight. Let's see where it is. The fight with where is it? Then Alina Kalinidou and then Petra Kaskova, and then I believe those are the only 2 ones right there. And then this fight should be a little bit more in favor of Catherine Delisa, but those are my predictions for Bellator 267. I got Michael Page winning, Leah McCourt winning, Robert Whiteford, Luke Trainer, Yves Londo, Louis Long, Kane Musa, Alina Kalinidou, Charlie Leary, Jack Grant, Fabakari Diata, Katharina Delisa, and then Kurset Kakarov. Kakarov, I did not know what I said right there, but like the video, subscribe to the channel, everything like that, and we'll see you in the next video. Let's go.